Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm live, and it may or may not be working. We never know with this kind of stuff, but I think it is. So we're gonna just act like it is. And I've got some cool stuff to talk about today, and it's been kind of growing on my brain for a while. So I really want to get into that. Before I do that, I want to introduce Kris Clinton. He is here with me, and he's on here for a reason. So let me get him on here. There he is. What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on this thing and doing it. Now, most of the audience knows by now that, or at least my audience on YouTube and Facebook knows that I do like a podcast, a video podcast that goes out and stuff.
Okay.
And I haven't been doing that for a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm sure they're wondering, like, did he just fall off the wagon, or like what happened with that? Did it just die? And the answer is no, it didn't. And so this is sort of going to make up for a little bit of that and explain why I'm not doing the podcast thing right now. And it's because we kind of, weirdly enough, ended up having to do a new film project. And that's what we're here to discuss. Yes. And you're here because you are a big part of this film project. Super and excited. I have some other people that are also on the future episodes here, because we're going to do this weekly here for a little bit. And so we're here to talk about this film project that we're doing. The truth is, I did not think, Kris, I mean, especially with the whole COVID thing and everything, I did not think we would be doing any film things really ever again. If you ask my wife, she would tell you that I was like, yeah, we're done. We're going to focus on, trying to make a life where you can make $1 somewhere. That's really it. And then weirdly enough, this kind of thing has come up. And so we're doing a show. So I feel like we should, first of all, I'm going to throw up this little slide, Kris. You're going to like this. Ready? Okay. Ooh, we're going to talk about this, the Hush Project. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what the heck is that? And why would I call something the Hush Project? Right. And the truth is, it's a working title. That's not the actual title of the movie, but I can't tell everybody what the title is of what we're doing. And we're making a series. And what's crazy about this is, unlike every other time I've done a film project, I have had to create something and then hopefully find somebody that liked it, a little bit, and then would share it somewhere, and you go through this whole process. But this is not like that at all. No. This is already, it has exclusive distribution already done. And so it's coming, it's like the whole project is being released in October. And so, yeah, I mean, that's right around the corner. And so we are in full swing of this thing, which is why I haven't been doing any podcasts or anything, because I haven't had the time.
Right.
And so
it's a good reason not to be doing the podcast.
It is. I had, priorities, man, film series, podcasts. I like the podcast, but man, sometimes you got to set it down and do something else. And so, so this show, it's going to be a pretty good little show here. And it's like a big action thriller, and it's somewhat faith-based. And I'm super excited about it. Huh?
Somewhat. I love that.
Well, I hesitate because, there's so many, if you say faith-based, then people are picturing like he's going to have a lot of people praying in a church or under a tree somewhere.
Right.
That is not this show at all. But there's definitely faith elements, in this show. And it's kind of my own version. If Chason had to do a faith-based show, how would he do it? And so, and so the reason we were renouncing on Facebook is because the truth is, this thing has kind of come up, and now that it's here, we need all kinds of help. And so we need help. We are currently casting. We have, like, I think I counted over 25 roles that we have to fill here real quickly. Some of them are major roles. A lot of supporting roles. Then there's a lot of extras and action sequence extras and different things like that. So casting, we need quite a bit of that happening. Crew, we need a lot of crew help, various aspects of that to pull this thing off. And then we need, in all honesty, volunteers. I don't know how to ask for volunteers. I've never been that guy to be like, if you're doing nothing on this day, could you please help me? I'm really bad about asking for help.
I understand. You and I are very, I'm similar to that. So I can understand. Yeah.
But the truth is, for something like what we're doing here, volunteers would be amazing. So I'm trying to ask for volunteers too. So like, we just have so much that we need. And I really wanted to let the community know, hey, we've got this thing that we're calling the Hush Project. It's coming out real soon. We are filming here in a matter of weeks. And I need all the help that we can get with this show. And so if you want to get involved, if you want to be cast, crew, or volunteer, anything like that, then now's the time to let me know. And if you go, we're going to put my little link here in the chat box here at the end of this thing. I don't know if I can do it now, but I'll put it in there. But if you go to chasenlaing.com, there's a tab right at the top that says the Hush Project. And on there, it has basically what we need, the email address where you can send like your video auditions, your headshots, things like that. Or if you want to get a crew, you can just send it all to this one email. I will collect it all and I can get back to you in that way. And then if you're wanting to audition, there's like 4 different sections of sides there for all these different parts. And so you can pick one, pick all 4. I really don't care. You know, you can pick whatever you want, and then your audition version of that through a video, and that way we can, you know, access it and do that. So all that's on chasonlaing.com, and that's great. So, and that brings me to why I wanted you to be on here to announce with me, because you were there when we were kind of starting this idea. And even before it was, before this was a thing, like I mentioned to you, like, hey, this might be coming up here. We might be shooting something. And I gave it, I think my first estimate to you was like, it's like a 5% chance. So don't get and then a couple
you were very positive. You were very optimistic.
I'm like, it might be at a 15% chance. And then a few more weeks went by. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's like it's a toss at this point. I really don't know.
Right.
A few more weeks went by, and like, man, it's just so many times. Then finally, one day I was like, all right, I think it's in the 90s, man. So
right.
Like,
yes.
And like, at this point, even I'm surprised. Like,
yes, you were.
Like, you know, like whatever goes good, right? And then so anyway, but it's happening. But I always knew, like I was telling you from the beginning, like if this idea goes, like you're a major part of it. So I wanted to get you on there. For those of people who are viewing this who don't know, you're an actor. You've done a lot of commercials. You've done a lot of film projects, and you've been on several of my projects already. So
very, very blessed to have been a part of those, because I love where you come from. I love the challenges that you bring to my character, and it challenges me. So thank you.
Yeah, man. Well, I kind of want to talk a little bit about that, because well, we can't really go into all the nitty gritties of necessarily like where this is going just yet, because that's supposed to be sort of hush for now, hence Hush Project. Or the title, you know, it is an action drama thriller series. Like there's a lot of depth in the season of this show, and the characters are I think some of my best written stuff for sure.
Agree. Yes.
And so it's a really interesting place to begin. And so I thought we could kind of ask you a little bit, since I'm not doing the podcast, I can ask you here.
Okay.
You know, like this is not, you know, you've done a lot of awesome commercials recently, but this is like, how do you prepare for a role for a series like this as opposed to like a commercial? Like, is there a difference, or do you just show up and smile like I'm ready to go? What is that?
No. What I like to do, and I got to give a lot of credit to James, who I got a chance to work with before on some previous projects.
James DeWitt, Breakers?
James DeWitt. James DeWitt actually taught me how to read a script, and I got to be honest. When I got the story, I've read it a couple times, and so each time I read it, I get a different version of what I feel for this character. So I feel a mood. I take a lot of context into play, as far as, okay, where is this character coming from, where is he now, you know, and how did he get here, and where do we go, and see the progression. And so it's just, I mean, it's pretty challenging, but I'll run a couple things by you as well too, and just to get some ideas. And generally you're always so open as far as, you know, no, I think that's a good idea. I think that'll work. And that's basically what I do. I'll read it a couple times, and not just one. And I read the whole story. I don't read like just my part. I'll read the whole story and just kind of get a feel and mood and rhythm of how the script's being played and the episodes. And, you know, so that's about it for me.
Awesome. Well, I got a few more questions.
Okay. Well, we should take turns.
Okay. Well, before
I've got questions for you.
Excellent. I do want to say, if anybody has a question for you or for me or about the project, guys, you can just drop it in the little comment box. I believe I will see it, and we can comment and talk about those things. But yeah, let's flip flop. What questions?
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's do this. Okay. So you are looking for help and volunteers and people. So if you can, let's give people a little context. What was your drive behind writing this script?
Oh man. Okay. So I guess I've heard that there is such a thing where writers get to just write whatever they want, and they just get to, you know, they don't think about budget or time or anything. They just write these epic stories, you know, Lord of the Rings 5, you know, and they can just kind of run with it. And this really wasn't like that per se. I had an idea that I thought would be really good, and it was a tight enough idea that it could be consolidated into a series.
Okay.
That's, it's not a long series, or it's the beginnings, and it had to fit in a tight frame. And so I had this really good idea, and so I have to keep everything when I'm writing in mind, like, hey, for me, I'm thinking I have to produce this. So
Right.
John Wick is not showing up in my show because, that's not in the budget, and I'm not doing these, the kind of action that requires ridiculous CG and effects and things. So for me, it's a matter of you're writing out of the necessity of the idea and how to make this idea work within the confines of resources and availability. We can't travel the world. We got to do it all here. Things like that. So, so this show, but again, I also really want to push the envelope. Every time I've done a film, I've tried to push myself further and do things more difficult than I did before. Which is both good and bad, because there's always that sense of horror as it's approaching, and you're like, I hope we can pull this off. but like, so for this was, I really want to do something that was much more action heavy, aimed at a more, I don't want to say male necessarily audience, but just something that I would want to watch.
Okay.
And in the faith-based realm, there's not a whole lot that really hits that I want to watch this thing, but it's also coming out of a faith-based idea.
Okay.
And so I'm not saying that I'm pioneering this thing. There's been plenty of people that have tried. There's just nothing that I've really thought caught my eye that I was like, man, that was a solid idea. And I think that maybe, at least for me, I just wanted the idea to be creative enough to where we capture somebody like my attentions that I watch more. So
got you.
Question.
Yes.
Cool, man.
All right.
Oh, wait, it's my turn.
Yes.
Okay, so we have to add cast for this project. Like there's, like I said, that we're casting for like 20 something plus roles. And again, go to chasoning.com and click on the Hush Project, and all this stuff and instructions and where to send your auditions and stuff is there. But we are casting. And so since you're already on the cast, Kris, I figured I should ask you, what kind of cast members are you hoping that we get? And maybe not necessarily like names, but just like, what kind of people do you like working with or like having on set, and what makes some people work and some people don't?
Yeah. In some of the, and I'll talk from previous experience, and on being the set with you, I have to say chemistry, professionalism, preparation, people that want to take it serious, people that are okay to push the limit respectfully, people that would challenge other people. Again, I have to say that I've worked with Grant. Right. Grant, I've worked with him on a couple sets, and just some of the energy that he brings, some of his pointers. Ray Hurd is another one that has really truly challenged me. And when we're reading, he's, hey, what if you did this right here? And what if you, and you're just open to it. But I think the chemistry is huge. I think feeling comfortable with one another, so that if someone is making some constructive criticism, you're not offended. You're like, oh, okay. Like, okay, I see what you're saying. So anyone that comes on the set that's that's serious about it, and two, wants to make a good film and is moved by the story, I think they feel a purpose or like a duty.
Yeah.
So that when you are in the production and clipping, you have a lot to work with, and not just one or two cuts that you can work with, but you have 6 or 7. It's just like, oh man, that was a good one, and that was a good one. But I think in acting, for me, I feed off of other good actors. So did I answer?
Awesome. Oh yeah, you got it.
All right.
For those of you just joining us, we're talking about the Hush Project. It is the working title for a film series that we are about to be filming. And so today's little show here is to talk about this project. We are currently in the middle of casting, and we are in the middle of looking for crew members, and we need volunteers, and it already has distribution, and it's releasing here really quick. And so we're just needing all the help we can get. So that's kind of what today's little little things about it to announce our project. And again, as soon as I can tell everybody, like as soon as we can release the information about where it's going and all this cool stuff, we will do that. But we can't do that yet. But we need help now. So this is what we're doing. Hence the Hush Project. And if you want to know more about it, ChasonLaing.com, and then there's a little link up there that says the Hush Project. So, and Kris, you're already casted, so that's why you're here. Awesome. And whose turn is it? Is it my turn?
Mine. We're on question number 2.
What's your question?
All right. You mentioned faith-based, so mine's a 2-part question. So where do you think faith-based films / shows miss it as far as growing their base, growing their fan base? And what is your approach to grow the fan base with this film or series?
Well, I think, okay, good question, first of all. So let's talk about that, because this is somewhat like, this project is a faith-based, in my brain, a faith-based project.
Right.
But for me, that might not be the same thing as what other people say when they say that. Okay. And I think in the end, what I think it should be about, excuse me, what I think it should be about is, what is the goal of the film? I'm going to hang on a second. See, I even have a drink here. You would think that would solve this. Anyway, but yeah, I think with faith-based films that I've seen in the past, they usually tend to be very softball. And the reason why is in the writing, the whole pinnacle moment of any faith-based film in a lot of ways is the come to Jesus kind of moment. Does that make sense?
Yes. And
when that happens, a lot of times, dude, I've never had this happen before. I've done so many podcasts, and I have this thing right in my throat right now, and it's just messing me up. I'm right in the middle of a good point.
Right.
Let's hope that stops or not. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Anyway, they meet Jesus, right? And that solves everything. Maybe, except for my throat.
Is this going to end up on bloopers?
No, this is why we did it live, because I wanted this to be on the live show.
This is what it's like to be on set, guys.
Yeah, this is why they never asked me to fill in for Jimmy Kimmel or any of that, because I'm like, this guy, what's going to happen? Right, anyway, so with faith-based films, yeah, I think so. I don't know. We might choke over here in a second. But with faith-based films, they meet Jesus, and it's kind of like your problems have to solve themselves, right? Okay. Because in a movie format, if it's like you meet Jesus and then everything continues to go horribly wrong, that doesn't do good. Like the messaging there gets kind of lost.
Okay.
And so for a lot of people, it's like once that happens, then you got to have this kind of sort of flowery ending. And so because you're working within a realm that is more message-based rather than story-based, the message becomes what's more important. And so therefore they lean heavily on the message. And I'm generalizing. I know that I'm generalizing.
Yes.
And every film is like this. But for me, for faith-based, I just want to see the actions of characters in the story. And the actions of the characters are interesting enough that caused me to think, why are they doing what they're doing?
Yeah.
That for me is where you can actually really excel by having faith elements, because people of faith will do things that do not make sense to a lot of people. And the only reason that they do them is because they believe they are called to, or that God's told them to, or they're doing their best to follow God in some way. Okay. And so, when you show us, a character in that kind of context, they can be very interesting to watch. And so, especially with this show that we're about to do, that was really one of the things I wanted to do, is not necessarily spend all my time trying to, teach people the Roman road or something like that. But I want to actually show them, like, why are these characters struggling? Can you be called by God and still be struggling? And if so, why? Yeah. And then B, what are they doing? What's their motivations? Why are they doing what they're doing? And let the audience ask these questions, and then allow their actions to continue to show them those answers. Yeah. And so I find that far more compelling when it's that kind of thing, when you're not telling me what you want me to know. Right. You're showing me a story, hopefully a good one, and one where the characters, you go home and you analyze it later on, and you say, why did this happen? Like, I analyze all these movies, and I think that that's something that I want to see. So That's this project. That's for me the big major difference there.
Good
I do
stuff.
want to ask you this because we're doing pretty good on time. And again, for those of you who I'm going to keep doing this because that's what this show is for. I haven't been podcasting much lately, guys, because I've been getting warmed up and ready for this Hush project. We are filming here in July. It's releasing in October. It already has distribution. We need cast, we need crew, we need talent, we need volunteers. The Hush project is not the actual name; it's the working title. And as soon as I can tell you what this is and where it's going, I will. Right now, it's kind of on the down low, but I need people now. So if you want to get involved, visit chasenlaing.com and go to the Hush Project link, and all this information is there. And so please do, especially if you're an actor. We're casting like 25 something people. So please do that. And if you know acting people, please share that with the acting people so that they can see that. And man, I've had so many people that I've met over the last decade that are film people that I'd love to work with, and this might be the time. So if you're interested, hit me up. Looking for crew as well, looking for volunteers, all that stuff. All right, back to my questions, Kris.
All right.
Speaking of needing crew members, I figured you're the guy to ask. You've been on 1, 2, 3, at least 3 or 4 of my projects, including commercials and things that I've done. Yes. So what would you say to people to warn them about being on my crew for making a film project?
Warn them sounds like
it does. I don't have an objective view of myself on set, so I figure asking you could. What would you say to somebody? Would you say, "Man, he's just like the worst"? Are you going to be like, "It's like Spencer going to make you do 100 takes"? Like, what would you tell them?
No, honestly, and even if you weren't right across from me, I'd probably say, you're one of the best people that I've ever actually worked with, and just because you communicate very well as far as what it is that you want. And I don't know if it's because you write it and you direct it, but you're very clear in your direction. Not only are you clear in the direction, but you're open to suggestions as well too. So I've learned so much in a very good way, which is why I'm super, super, super excited about what I can bring to this next project, because I'm really, truly ready to challenge myself and really, truly, really ready, truly to challenge where I can go with this character. But I've learned it all from being on the set with you. So I'm super excited with that. So nothing to warn anybody about, because they'll have.
You might be like, yeah, he's a total dictator.
No. I learned so much from you, and sometimes you talk and it's like over my head, and I don't know what it is that you're talking about.
Because you're like 6'5" or something.
But you're just that smart. But no, seriously,
you're already casted, man. So you can stop now.
But no, all jokes aside, man, I learned so much, and I think maybe that's my personality too. I'm a sponge. I'm a sponge for information. So, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. And like you said, I've been on 3 or 4 sets with you, and you've surrounded me around people that were way smarter than me, way more talented than me. And I've nitpicked and learned from each and every person. And I have to give a huge shout out to my girl, Danielle Wheeler. Danielle is such an awesome actress. And I picked her brain between each and every scene that we had together, and she's just amazing, and she's so talented. So
awesome.
Yeah,
Danielle is pretty excellent. That was from Breakers, and so that was good stuff.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, for those hang on, no, you're gonna go, but just again, for anybody who's just jumping on, we're talking about where's the link here? Here we go. We're talking about the Hush project. Guys, we're shooting a new film project. It's shooting here in a matter of weeks. We need cast, we need crew, we need volunteers. And it's a big deal. It already has distribution, and it's a fast turnaround. And so it's something that I need help. I mean, very rarely do I get to come online and be like, hey, guys, I need help. But like, this is one of those situations where I need help to pull it off, and I'm looking for talent. And so if you're talented, check out chasenlaing.com and go to the Hush Project link. And then please follow the instructions there. Start sending me your information. And if you're acting, if you're an actor, there's links to auditions there that we need to start auditioning people, and we're casting a lot of roles. So please do that. It's a big deal. It's basically consuming my life. I'm doing nothing else. I'm not doing sports this summer. I'm not doing, I basically have X'd almost everything out of my life that I can to focus on just this. So this is all I'm doing. So there's no podcast for a little bit for that reason. These things will have to make up for it. So whose turn is it, Kris? Is yours?
Mine. And that was a good leadway. So you're asking for actors. What I would ask you, since you're asking for actors, can you give a little context for your audition process? So how, or maybe how would you suggest them go about auditioning, and what is it that you are looking for as the director when you are watching these things?
Yeah. Well, so, I'm going to tell you just for me, what I like. I mean, you're going to find lots of different casting directors and audition people that are significantly different, maybe from me, but like I have a simple kind of process. And first of all, COVID's kind of messed up everything, because like now we're doing video auditions when we used to just basically hold these auditions, try to get people in person, which I always definitely prefer, but that's just not an option anymore, at least not yet. And so we're doing this one all basically through video for the most part. And what I look for is, I usually like to see an actor do a couple takes. Okay. And the first take is just whatever they, I don't know, think of the scene. They just do their best, and I'm watching to just see how they, what choices they make. How are they bringing this scene, to life? And for me, I want to like, am I buying it? But then I want to usually see another take that is different than the first, because, and if you're, you've done this, you've auditioned for me before where you're in the room and I'll, even if you killed it on the first one, I'll ask you to do something different, and it'll be way different. And I'm doing it on purpose because I want to know, like, can you take, an instruction? Can you take an idea and go somewhere different with it? In other words, can you actually act? Or have you just memorized it where you're going to say it with the same cadence and the same thing over and over? Because then that means when I'm on set, if something happens, I have nothing to work with. Right. So I really want to see, like, can this person adapt or change? Can they be different characters of the same character? And that way I know this person's workable. And so we can actually get into a scene. And if it's not feeling right, then I know that we can feel our way out of it until it's successful. Right. And you're not just going to give me that same line over and over and over where I'm just like, well, now I'm stuck with that line forever. Gotcha. So for me, that the audition process is fairly simple. And I usually don't think about it. And in all honesty, a lot of times if I think that you're close to where you could do the part, I'll probably send you another thing saying, can you put this on a video for me and just do this? Right. And that way they're kind of, that's a more specific. A lot of times I'll start very generic and say, here's some basic sides. What do you got? And then go from there. So again, everybody's going to be different. Yeah, for me, since I'm the one directing it, and since I'm the one who's written it, and I already know kind of where I want to go with it, it's important that the person be flexible and not just already like, spaghetti that's not cooked or something. It's a weird analogy, but I guess don't be that. Right.
All right, good answer.
I won't give you that direction on set. Don't be spaghetti. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, guys. So we're doing. I feel like I'm saying this a bunch. We do have some people. There is some chat. Let's see here. Charles says, "What's up, Chason? I commented in the Facebook comments. Tried to copy and paste here. Well, I don't know how to get that. Where am I going here? Hang on. I'm coming over. I'm going to try to figure out what's going on here.
While you do that, can I ask you another question?
Ask away. I'm going to see if there's any. Hang on. I'm coming over. Oh, this has done something bad. Okay. I don't. What just happened? What just happened? Are we still live? What's going on? Why am I not able to see? Man, we just killed this. I tried to answer this person, and now it is. Oh, well, my time is still going. I found it. Okay. For some reason, I can't get the chat in here, and I
will type it out again.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. Yeah, type it out again, Charles. I don't know why it's doing this. This is a horrible train wreck there, but whatever. I thought Facebook would show up in this feed, but I guess this is just YouTube showing up in the feed, and I don't know why that is. That's really, really weird. What was your question, Kris? I'm sorry.
No. It's all good. So my question is to maybe people who aren't quite experienced on a resume as far as acting, it's open to anybody and everybody who calls himself an actor or an actress, correct?
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to reiterate that for some people who don't have as much experience, they may feel like, okay, this is not for them. But
right. No, I believe that you can practice and you can definitely work at your craft and do more. But I honestly think if you want to start acting, then I think, or even if you're new acting, it's just a matter of, are you ready to work and try? If that's there, if you're ready to work and try stuff and that kind of thing, then yeah, please. I mean, again, there's the link, go audition for it. And yeah, I see Charles, he's coming up. I think that, there's plenty of tons of actors that are new that have amazing talent that nobody finds because, they're like, well, come back when you have like 10 things under your belt.
Right.
I'm like, if you've got it and you can do this part, then go. And I've had a lot of success working with actors that have not had huge roles in things, and then they turn out to be phenomenal. And
yes.
And I'm not going to toot my own horn because that's ridiculous, but I do think I have found some pretty amazing actors across the board, either that have either already been going and then I got to work with them, or they were very early new and now they're moving on to do really cool, bigger things. And awesome. So I've been really blessed in that way. And I got my comments working. So Charles, I'm gonna get to that. Let's see here. So Charles says right here, I'm a film producer, etc. I'll be sending an email soon. But in the meantime, can you say the crew positions needed off the top of your head? Dude, okay. So basically kind of all of them. We're looking we're looking for all of them. We got some camera help, we've got some already volunteer help, but like at this point, like I'm looking for ADs, camera help, sound help. We're looking for stunt help, just kind of a lot of things. It's happening so fast that I'm gathering everything and I'm going to see what I can do. This project, I guess I should tell people, like, this is not like a Netflix level, millions of dollar project. This is still fairly lower indie budget film. But most of our positions are paid to some level. And so we are looking to fill them out. But that's also why we're doing something like this, because we need to do it. And Charles, please do send your email. Like he's been on my podcast, so I'd love to work with Charles because he's already great. I see his stuff.
Awesome.
So we'll figure that out. Let me see if there was any other comments. I had to go to my phone. See, this is how techie I am. I can't figure out why this isn't working. Stephanie says I had a hairball. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Oh man. Cool. Hairball. That's greatness. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to be wrapping this up pretty soon, but I wanted to have another question for those of you. Again, we're doing a film project. We need cast, crew. We need volunteers. If you are able to volunteer, great. If you're an actor, we need a lot of actors, guys. We need. We're doing some major roles, some big supporting roles. We need a love interest. We need a villain. We need henchmen. We need.
Hold on a sec.
Yes.
The villain. Please, guys, audition. You really want to audition. This is going to be a fabulous and fun and awesome and amazing series. And bring your best villain. Like, yes. I'm telling you, you really want to be a part of this. Okay, continue.
Well, no, I'm excited. We're looking. I think the villain character is phenomenally done. Of course, I wrote it, but still, it's one of the best I've ever done. So
yeah, he's pretty awesome. Although, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. We need a love interest. We need I'm looking for I guess you could call him a child actor, a guy between like 10 and 14. That's on there too. We're looking for an older actress who is 60 to 80 or whatever. Is pretty wide open. So I mean, we're looking like across the board. So you can find all that information, chasonlaing.com. Click the Hush Project link and you'll see that there and how to audition and stuff. Please do that. Kris here is already on this show. We're shooting it in July. It's coming out in October. Like, talk about like crazy fast. But that's exciting because a lot of times it's like we're going to film this project and then a year later, like we did Sheer Pandemic and it just came out. It's been like a year and people can finally find it. Whereas this is like it actually has exclusive distribution and it's coming out in October. Like, it's a big deal. Charles, ethnicity doesn't matter for all the roles. There's plenty of I left it open on purpose because I don't like to cast where I look for a specific, I don't want to say color, but like, an ethnicity I don't like to think in that way. I like to think like in fact, for example, back when I filmed Breakers, I auditioned Ann Byer, and the role was supposed to be for like a Barbara Bush kind of character. And I always pictured her with like this Texas Southern accent. And she was supposed to be just like a very Southern, cooking mom kind of villain, congressperson. And then when Anne auditioned, I mean, she's German, first of all, had a very thick accent, didn't even try to hide the accent. She actually asked me later on if she should. And I said, absolutely, do not try to do that.
She is amazing.
But it was just the ability to like see like the talent that was there and how it brought something to life.
Yes.
I'm all about that. So yeah, I keep my brain really open. I'm looking for talent. Like I just want to see if it's there and we can make it work. I'm going to make it work because I'm going to try to get the best talent I can get for every role I can possibly cast. So there we go. So there's that question. Thanks, Charles. And then let's see here. Kris, I got one more we'll do one more for you. One more each, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Okay. Why should people in general be excited about this project?
I feel like we've said it, but I'll finish it up. It's different. I think there's not going to be anything else like it, and that's always fun. And like you said yourself, we push certain limits and we go places, and that I don't think a lot of films, I don't care what the budget is, I don't think a lot of films do that. And we are very authentic, and the writing is very pure and fun but challenging, and it makes you think, and it hits every it checks every checkbox that you possibly can get. Action, yes. Love interest, yes. Good story, yes. And they're gonna want more.
Yeah, I'm banking on that one. I'm pretty solidly banking on that one. I think this one is going to definitely generate some head turning and some people being like, wait a minute,
it's going to be binge worthy. Like they're going to finish it in one day. It's going to be really good.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
So I agree with you. I'm super excited, and in fact, like I can't. For those of you who have tuned in late, I haven't been able to say the name of the show yet, and I can't say exactly where it's going just yet. That will all happen really soon. So that's why we're talking in these sort of vague terms, because we can't release that yet. So I'm sorry. But I really wanted to create something that pushes the limits on where I had seen this type of show in the faith-based world go. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to see, like, what can we do to take, to really create something that people across the board, it's not going to be labeled by faith-based. It's just people are going to like it. And yes, it's faith-based, but people are just going to attach themselves and say, I love this idea. I love these characters. And now we're in it. So super, super pumped about that. You get the last question, buddy. You get the last question, and then we'll answer this thing and get out of here.
Well, I was going to ask you to answer the same last question you just asked me.
He did. No, I think people should be excited. I have so many Facebook friends that are filmmaking people or acting people and crew people, and I'm seeing all their projects all the time, and it's fun to get excited about seeing what Camille Arnett's doing, or like Stephanie Parker's doing, or I mean, I'm constantly, my Facebook feed is just constant film. Charles has got stuff going on. Like there's constantly people with stuff happening, and it's cool to see what's going on. If I had to say why to get excited about this, is just because for me, I feel like it's taken me 20 plus years to hone skills to where if I hadn't already gone through all this stuff until now, I don't think I could pull this thing off.
Okay.
And I think this project, for me, it is definitely pushing the limits and the boundaries of what I am capable of doing within the realm and confines that I have. And yet, I feel like it's the kind of thing that all these friends that I've gotten to meet would be proud of, that they either were a part of, or that they knew the people who were going to be a part of this. And, just coming out of here and being a homegrown person here making this, and not the Hollywood person that IMDb would have you think I am. Hollywood. I think that people will be really excited and proud of what we've done here. I think we've taken something and gone to a new level that, you know, people then will have to step up their games to kind of say, you know.
And why should people volunteer? Why should you're asking for?
I think well, if you're wanting to learn anything, you're never like, I mean, parents ask me all the time, like, you know, where should my kid go to film school? And I'm always like, no, you don't go to film school. That's ridiculous. You know how much money the universities are taking right now? Like, no. And film people don't ever make any money. Don't tell anybody. But no, I think what you need to do is just get on set and start learning. You know, if you want to know how to talk to actors, get on set where that's happening. If you want to know how to light, get on set where you can experiment with light. If you want to know how to figure out how sound works and how to mic people right or close to right, or, you know, whatever, you know, get on there where you can do that kind of thing. And so, you know, if you're a parent and you've got a teenager that you could be, you know, sitting there watching, you know, playing Warzone or Fortnite, you know, all day, every day for the summer, say, forget that, go learn something, get over there and come in and be a part of it. Because the truth is, like, once you're on a film set, some people, that's all it takes. They get there one time and they're hooked for life. Like, they just see what happens on the behind the scenes and they just get hooked. I mean, that's kind of what happened to me, is I just love stories. And then as soon as I saw how you could make them, I was sold ever since. Yeah. So I think that, yeah, you know, that's why it's like, volunteers wise, like, I mean, I need everybody from like craft services, but like people, I mean, you've been on my film sets. Nobody sits around doing nothing. Like, the idea, I can't even understand the idea where you have time to sit down. It's very foreign to me. And I don't say it and then not do it. Like, you know me, I don't eat usually. I don't sit. I am on it.
Yes, you are.
And I think that that's part of the game. But I think, you know, for other people, there's no sitting jobs. There's only it's a collaboration. Everybody who's there, I want them there, and everyone who is there is all trying to make the best possible thing. And when you get a collaboration of, you know, 10, 20 people all doing that at one time, and you're making something really cool, then there's nothing more exciting. Period. Like, it is.
And let me reiterate, because there's whether you see yourself on the big picture or you are a part of it, there's still like a complete feeling when you see the body of work come together. Like, it's something that's so fulfilling. Yeah. So it's awesome. I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited too. So let's end on that. That's a good place to end. For those of you who are watching, one more time, let's here, if I can do this and not have another hairball, Stephanie. We're talking about the Hush Project, guys. It is filming here in a matter of weeks, and I need your help, and Kris needs your help, and we all need your help to make this happen. We already have distribution. It's being released in October, and we are casting like crazy people. We need crew like crazy people, and it's a pretty big deal, and it's sneaking up on me really fast. But it's kind of one of those quote unquote God opportunities. Sometimes God just opens the door and it lands on you, and all you can say is, you know, yes, I'm
exactly.
Excuse me, let's go. And that's what you have to do. And so that's kind of what's happening. And we'll gladly tell everybody more about this. We're going to be doing these things every week up until we're shooting here. And so I just really wanted to get people's awareness out. Please tell your friends, people that are interested. If you're in DFW area and you want to be on a film set and work on a film set or volunteer on a film set, this is the one. There are many others out there that you could be on, but no one needs you as bad as I do. So please hit me up. It's all there. You can go to chasonlaing.com and click the Hush Project at the top. And also, Charles put the link to the email down already in the comments where you can send auditions on there. All the audition sites are right there online. You can go get them. I'll be sharing the page. Do me a favor, guys. If you are just watching this, or if you've watched it after it's live, if you can see that link and just share it on your pages for anybody who's in the film world to see that so that they can get involved, I would be super grateful. I don't ask you to share all my funny memes. I'm not on Facebook all the time. But this is one of those few times that you sharing it would help me out a lot, because I'm trying to get amazing talent and I'm looking for it. And so, yeah, what's up?
Is there a deadline as far as auditions? Is there a cutoff?
We really need to do this here in the next probably 14 to 16 days. Like I want to have everything covered here in that amount of time. So when I say we're casting fast, like it's happening really fast, guys. So please get your stuff in as soon as possible. And again, we're casting for a lot of roles, just a lot. And so I'm going to be doing this and getting on as much as I can until I get them all covered. And I'm looking, if I know you or have a connection to you, if we work together or we have wanted to work together, if I've met you at a film festival, or if you're like Charles and you're just local and we've connected in the past, like now is the time. Like I would love to work with as many people that I have not gotten to work with as possible. It would be an amazing opportunity. And this kind of thing does not happen a lot. I can tell you that for sure. Like this kind of, grabbing lightning and putting it in a bottle thing, that doesn't happen all the time. And this is one of those times. So with that being said, Kris, any final words before we out of here?
I'm ready.
You got it? Awesome.
No, that's it.
All right, dude. Thanks for being on the show. Thank you, everybody. And thanks for your help. Again, the Hush Project. Tell your friends. I feel like I should say God bless, like we're presidential. God bless.